Hi, I'm Dan Lawson and welcome to Tullahoma City Schools. We're terribly proud of the programming that we provide and certainly proud of our technology base that we provide each of our students. As we consider what we do today, it's terribly important for folks to understand that we focused first and foremost on relevance. And we think relevance is accomplished as we best connect our curriculum to our kids. As we look at an overall program of effectiveness, we provide one-to-one technology for our kids in grades K through 12, and in grades 3 through 12, that technology goes home with our kids. Furthermore, we think it's important that they learn all sorts of technologies. So we're not necessarily married to one delivery system, but we want them to acquire a skill set that is portable and a skill set that prepares them for their future. Certainly this transition hasn't been without challenges. It hasn't been without some obstacles, but we've enjoyed great success as we've seen a tremendous growth in our students and a tremendous growth in our teachers. The embedded professional development that our teachers provide to their peers is absolutely essential in our delivery system. For we've found that while some of us have a bit of expertise, when we open the door and we allow teachers to share their expertise as to what best works for them in their classes, we find relevant instruction that takes place in our schools. We're certainly excited about where we are today and much more excited about where we're going to be in the future. For we're embracing change and we're embracing a philosophy that says our kids benefit by the investment that this community is willing to make in them. Thanks for joining us. Google Apps for Education is an integral part of our program here in that we are providing productivity software for both our kids and our teachers. Our students are able to develop a digital locker, and in that digital locker they keep portfolios of their work from the time they're a third grader through the time that they graduate from Tullahoma High School. We're excited about that as a real measure of progress of the quality of work that our kids do. Additionally, we're able to use the Google productivity software to make curation and creation of content a much more viable act on the part of our teachers, and it certainly serves our community and our schools well.
I love Google Sites. Google Sites is a place where all of my students are able to go and find all of their assignments hidden away in one central location. I like to call it the hub, the central command, if you will. We have all of our Google Docs, Google presentations, any internet site that I use, I embed in my Google site. And my kids know that when they come to my classroom, if they have their Google page up, their language arts web page up, they know that they can find everything in my classroom that they need to be successful.
I'm here in Tullahoma City Schools. We have a criteria for technology use which basically states that the technology cannot get in the way of the development of the artist or of the physical side of playing an instrument. It has to enhance the process. And we've boiled it down to where we basically use two systems. We use an app called Screencastify that students can use to record playing tests at home, thus leaving that time free for more classroom activity. They can turn those tests in via Google Classroom, which acts as an organizational tool for me and a communications tool for them. I have all of that information categorized by class and assignment, so when I need to go back and use it for long-term assessment, it's easily accessible. We also extensively use a website called SiteReadingFactory.com. It randomly generates musical examples so that our students can practice those basic music literacy skills, which are so important to what we do. They also have an assessment side, which allows them to turn in those assignments, and it's very easy for me to go in and see what they've done.
I've discovered that Google Earth and Google Maps is a wonderful tool to use with my ESL students. One of our missions in Tullahoma City Schools is to work with the students holistically, and that includes for us ESL teachers, we're advocates for them, and that's we kind of have to meet their emotional needs sometimes. We get new students Very frequently. Sometimes they come in and they feel just fine, but other times they come in and they're very nervous. They don't want to talk really to anybody, and I've found Google Maps and Google Earth to be a great icebreaker.
One of the things that I'm talking about today is my use of Google Classroom, and one of the things that I use it for is to make sure that I communicate instructions with my students and their people at home as clearly as possible. I have given parents passcodes and things like that so they can get involved at home, and that's one of the strong points that I see with Google Classroom, is that I can make it as easy as possible for the students to see when they're here at school, when they're at home, or I can make it as easy as possible for their parents, grandparents, or their people at home that care about their education to see as well. And another big positive that I see is, like I said, the communication, but the ability for the students to always have that in front of them. I might not always be there in front of them, but there's a digital Mr. Lawson that's always right there in front of them that could give them some instruction. So those are some of the positives that I see with Google Classroom.
Last school year, West Middle implemented Chromebooks in grades 6 through 8. And our main focus in that process was mainly to get devices into the students' and teachers' hands. We also wanted to provide opportunities for students and teachers to learn together. And the main emphasis was that we wanted to create a culture where it's okay to fail. And that simply means that students and teachers and principal alike could take risk with the Chromebooks, and if it didn't work, try something else. The great thing about the process was that our teachers, students, and parents were all learning together. And moving forward with this, it's important to understand that it's not the device, but it's the skills that we learn from ongoing PD that allows us to continue on no matter the device, no matter the program.
Nothing replaces great teacher instruction that goes on in our schools every day. But this year we have spent some of our professional development time dealing with on how we integrate technology into our classroom and what that looks like for a student at Lee, what that looks like for maybe a student at East Lincoln, Farrah, and Bel Air.
CK12 has been a wonderful partner for Tullahoma City Schools in that they provide a tremendous template for our teachers to use as they create and curate content. Now, that content that is created and curated is delivered in a platform agnostic manner. It really doesn't matter what device our students use. And in fact, we have a small component of our community that doesn't have wireless access at home, don't have access to the internet at home, so we're able to download on our devices a PDF, and our kids have at least the functionality of the old textbook. Now, CK12 does something much greater than providing that storage space and that template. They provide technical expertise that's truly changed our way of putting together content. They provide a lot of baseline information and a lot of flex books that we can grow from. They provide simulations and PLICs, lesson plans. Truly, they have provided a great springboard for our transition to a digital world.
About 2 years ago, I began compiling a textbook for my 6th graders. What I did was basically take the standards that the State Department of Education had given to social studies and wrote lessons to fit each one of those. Every year when I teach that lesson, I always change it. The good thing about having a book on CK12 is that, I hate to say this, it sounds a little cliche, but it's almost like a living textbook. I can change it, I can delete things, I can fix grammar errors, I can add activities, and I can do whatever I want. If new things are found in the world of ancient history, I can include those. Things that don't work, I can remove, and daily update my textbook to fit the needs of my students and myself.
If I find new open source material throughout my research, I can go in there and I can add that in there. And I can make that a better product for the student. That, I think, is something that textbooks cannot do. You adopt a textbook, 6 years in advance, and you can't really update anything for 6 years. With this way, I can go in there, I can rearrange, I can add new things, and I can make it instantly available for the students.
We're really excited about our CK-12 initiative here at Tullahoma High School. The vertical and horizontal alignment of our content through CK-12 is going to provide a roadmap for so many different people here. It provides a roadmap for the teachers. It lets us know where a student has been in their work. It provides content knowledge for the students. It lets the students know that we build on their previous learning with this vertical alignment that we have. It also lets the stakeholders know that we have a vision for where we want our students to be when they complete our program here. The CK-12 Flexbook is a living document. Teachers are able to collaborate regularly to update the content. We can embed links, images, video, so much more than just text. And we can make this learning more relevant to our students because they live in a digital environment now. Students are lost without their technology. And being able to use the CK-12 platform to present our instructional material to them, we really feel like is going to be beneficial in the long run for our kids.
Tullahoma started a transition, and in that transition we believed that we were going to develop and create and implement content that our students could take with them, and that digital content could be updated, could be made more relevant with our students in that we would match that content with local interest, with local people, with local places that align with our state standards. We've seen a remarkable step to accomplish that, and now we have a future that's waiting on us. The future that's waiting on us has our kids as developers of that content, because we all know as leaders of learning that we learn best as we share. We learn best as we study and do that homework and we share with others. Think of how powerful it will become as our students become that leader of learning for their peers and as they learn to share. Thanks for joining us.
You're one!